minutes of added on time. Realistically, how much are you going to hurt them out wide? Realistically, there's positives, but fundamentally, there's positives and then there's winning the game. We haven't done that. It would have been offside. So had a few chances. Drop Nketiah next game. I can't lie. He's robbed. Harsh, man. Don't think he's been terrible today, but this is Eddie Nketiah, innit? And at the same time, do I think he's been terrible today? No. When you do or don't do certain things in the transfer market between the summer and January, you sign up for certain results. You sign up for this. Fair enough. Jorginho's come in and done quite well. Handball ref. Bernardo Silva and Haaland going to kick the ball away and act up. Is there a sub? Not too sure there. Gabriel, Tomiyasu is still my guys, but you lot, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, there's too many. I'm not blaming anyone, but there's just too many individual mistakes and brain farts in this team. Benjamin White, lovely run forward. Cutting edge. Lacked cutting edge today as well, man. Last 3 games against City have been all right. Fundamentally, we've lost them. Zinchenko's found Trossard. Trossard twisting and turning. I don't know if Edison... No, he didn't. He didn't get a touch on that. I don't know. Trossard with I think it's a cross. Could have been going for goal. Only Trossard could tell you what that is. Fundamentally, it's not gone in. Boy, you're just going to have to catch them on the rebound. Bro, confidence shouldn't drain. Confidence shouldn't drain. If anyone's confidence in that team, naturally, of course, it's going to be hit. You haven't won in 4 games now, three in all comps. It shouldn't drop. It shouldn't. In the same way, allegedly, it didn't drop when you didn't win 3 games last season. It shouldn't drop. In the same way, no one should think they're better or achieved anything if we've been on a winning run. Keep balance. When there's every reason to panic, think of the reasons to be optimistic. When there's every reason to be optimistic, it's not that you need to think negative, but consider things from a different perspective. If I see a single head drop, leave the football club. Winning, losing, and drawing comes with the game. But you've handed this to them. This is the benchmark. This is what every team that is not Manchester City aspires to have. The dark arts, the finding a way to win when City haven't been at their best. Again, for Arsenal, you need to correlate playing well or whatever to actually winning. You can't be good for 20 minutes, for 30 seconds, for this, for that, the other. You need to get the job done. There's been games we've won. Leicester at home, Leeds away, Brighton away, Man United at home, negatively Man United away, where some of these same things you're seeing now, not being in the right places positional-wise, going to sleep on the ball, going to sleep off the ball, sandwiched in between, largely in part doing well in matches. This is why we're not going to win this league. Tried to tell you, look, and I want to be wrong, of course. I ain't seen us lift this since 2004, but they're too immature. You can't afford to do this. And we need to correlate actually playing well with winning games. If you're if you've played better for 38 games, but you haven't necessarily won enough games, drawn enough games, and whatnot, you might not be in a job, or your team might not be in the division, folks. So there's many positives to take. Move into Aston Villa. But it's another game where you're sat there and you're saying, what if? Oh, God, you bullied yourself today, man. You ain't been on it today. And it's going to get a lot uglier. I hope to God it stays at 3-1. It's about to become 4. Never, ref. Haaland is too strong for his own good. Saka's even chopped it down back to his fullback days. What the hell does Haaland eat, man? Gundogan looks like he needs a number 2. Okay. Oh, Phil Foden clearly fouled Jorginho there. Play still gone on. Corner kick. Don't know if that was the wisest. So if confidence drains, Charles, Brazy. You feel sorry for yourself, it gets worse. Not blaming Eddie, he's just not as clinical as expected. The game's done. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 1. First things first, congratulations to Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta. They move into top spot on goal difference. Obviously, we've got Aston Villa. For Arsenal Football Club, there's not a damn second to feel sorry for yourselves. You feel sorry for yourselves, it's going to get worse. As I said, no one cares that we lost in the FA Cup. No one cares that we lost to Everton. No one cares that we've lost to City today. No one cares about VAR and all this BS against Brentford. Get on with it, because there was going to be this inevitable crumble or this inevitable wobble or rough patch. It's down to the boys now to decide, is this going to be the defining period in the season for you lot? Is this going to be where you cracked, or is this going to be where you react, whether you win this league title, which don't believe happens, or you finish second and do what you need to do in the Europa League? Credit to Manchester City. You have to give credit. The dark arts, the frustrating us, the immaturity is everything. As I said, I think there's a lot of positives today. I think there was elements of going 1v1 with them, and winning our individual battles. I quote unquote think they were on the ropes at times. I think we had half chances that we didn't score. But at the same time, play silly games, win silly prizes. Not scapegoating Gabriel Ramsdale for being out of position or Tomiyasu, because even when we've won against Fulham or there's been a mistake against Leicester with Saliba and Gabriel, everyone makes mistakes. It happens. Man United with Partey ramping in possession with Rashford. You need to get on with it. You need to. I think largely we've defended quite well this season. Largely, and in this game, but fundamentally it wasn't to a suitable standard. As I just said, I think we've created some chances, did not take them, and really and truly, the most you saw from Edison was time wasting, knocking it into the channels. We hardly made him make a big save. Big up Bukayo Saka for obviously scoring another big game he scored, and scumbag in assist. Goals and assist records. You got to shout out Jorginho, because everybody and their nan weren't believing in him. He's done well and given the manager every reason to play him. I don't think anyone was terrible, if I'm honest, but these are the fine margins that have gone for us, gone against us in previous games against the reigning league champions. You can't afford to do that against Man City. These things are only magnified. As I said, no time to feel sorry for yourself. Got to keep going. Take the positives and make them great. Work on the evident negatives. No clean sheet in 4 games now in all comps. No win. It is what it is. And this is where at the start of the season, when we're overperforming and winning games to the point where everyone's asking, when does this run stop? It's about the floor. Now, the positive is, whether you think Arsenal can win the league or not, allegedly we're still second. We're tied on, they're doing better than us on goal difference. They've taken 3 points off us. Do I think you can win the league on the best of days with Arsenal? No. Do I think you can win it without beating City? No. But get on with it. It could be a lot worse. As I said, we could be inconsistent form, which kind of is at the moment. We could be, other teams doing better than us. We're out the European places. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. VAR or not against Brentford, didn't do what we needed to do. Everton bullied. Today, not good enough for the large part of 90 minutes, regardless of the positives. And you have to throw in not being able to break down a low block in Newcastle. Newcastle dropping points from winning positions actually against Brentford and Southampton. And I do think VAR done us dirties in these games. And we've done well this season, make no mistake. But if you're looking at a title challenge, that's 10 to 12 to probably, I don't even know the maths now with City, 15 points dropped for a variety of reasons. VAR not doing our jobs, being unlucky, whatever in it. And I'm not saying Arsenal are going to win every game, because at the same time, it could be a lot worse. What's that? 3 L's this season. We lost to both Manchester clubs, lost to Everton. You'd have bit anyone's arm off in August for this. Obviously, it sucks, but you have to keep going. Own worst enemies today, as Marcel rightly said. Own worst enemies. You've handed that to them. That's the quality with Haaland, with Grealish, with Kevin De Bruyne. But you've provoked them. You've put, if you go to a dangerous area and you've got a Rolex, you're not going to walk around flashing it, and you can't be surprised if someone takes off your arm. That's what we did. We showed opportunities for Haaland to score. He did. Grealish to take advantage. He did. Grealish, Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne. He did. These are the fine margins. So congratulations to Man City. We go again. Because if you think the world don't care now, you got 12:30 trip now. 12:30 against Aston Villa. Una Emre, he's onto you. Make sure that it doesn't get any darker from there. You need to react. City firmly in the driving seat now, as they always were. They've got experience on us and all these things. So just going to have to get on with it. Nketiah experiment over. To be fair, he won the pen, innit? Zinchenko absolutely awful. I don't know who this fraud is in the 35. It's a bit harsh. Facts DG. Them guys were deluded thinking this transfer window was enough to win the league. Again, Santa Claus settings. Haaland struggled against every top 6 side. He bucked us. There you have it. And Nketiah isn't Premier League quality. Too many average performances for too many games. You lot are harsh, man. Too many shortcomings. I've had Zinchenko playing in Xhaka's role, Tini at left back and White keeping his right back slot tonight. Tommy, sorry, but that's 2 goals with your name written on it. Bit harsh. I feel Gabriel's got to take responsibility for one of the goals. Yes, Tomiyasu has to take responsibility. We've gone to sleep. We've really gone to sleep. And even that, Tomiyasu's, there's, Saka probably has to help Tomiyasu. A midfielder has to sniff danger, really. I think Odegaard let the game bypass him. I don't think Xhaka was good enough in the final third today. We've had some half chances with Eddie and Nketiah. Maybe we need to have more cutting edge. Martinelli a bit predictable. I don't think a single player was bad today. But ultimately, we didn't win. Can't have excuses. You lost to the better team. You just have to keep it moving. VAR saved our bacons with the offside. We got a penalty. You need to react. We didn't do that. Hold our L today, man. That's all you can do. Bro, they're going to have to handle pressure because forget the league. The league is a privileged position to be talking about. Don't mess up being in the Champions League because some of you don't even know what a Champions League is. Some of you have signed for this football club and it's correlated, not blaming them, but obviously not being in the champs. If you're going to mess up on that as a minimum, issues. City are going on a winning run, 4 without a win. Eddie just doesn't have it. A proper striker would have scored today. Anyone criticizing Eddie, I'm not saying that you're right or wrong, but any issues in midfield, any issues up front, any issues in this squad or depth, surely that is on the manager and the technical staff. These players are not picking themselves. And Eddie might not have been the best today. Who can say they really was? I don't think anyone was terrible today, but who can really say they mashed it? Who can leave that pitch and say, I did everything I could? We win, lose, and draw together. And Eddie's not picking himself. As Mikel Arteta said in his press conference, if you told me we'd be here in August, I wouldn't believe you. 2 huge mistakes, but these have been happening all season. It's nothing to do with oil money. We didn't win or lose because of oil money. We've handed them their goals. You go through all the goals we've conceded. This is why I keep saying what people think I'm being negative. We're an improved defensive side. And statistically in the Prem, sure, we are a good defensive side. But we're not a good defensive side. We show great grit. We show good determination. As shown at a part in this game, we've reacted to mistakes and got something. But we still have these brain farts. Like I said, we beat Man United. They were there. We lost to Man United at Old Trafford. These same things were there. Against Fulham, against West Ham, against Aston Villa. These mistakes were here. This is why I'm not necessarily looking at Tomiyasu or Gabriel beyond evidently having to be held accountable for it. It's how many mistakes have you seen? Mistakes happen. I'm not going to criticize a team for mistakes. I'm just highlighting it. Individual errors killed us. Not offering nothing in the final third killed us. Other than that, I think we went toe-to-toe, but we've gone toe-to-toe with them in this fixture last year, in my opinion. We've gone toe-to-toe with them in the FA Cup, but we've lost. So there's a lot of positives. A lot of positives. But potential 9 points in the last 3, 8 points been dropped. Now you're going to have to get with it. City are evidently a better team than us. And now everyone's going to say they're the favourites, which they've always been. But people are question marking how they're playing. They've done this thing where they've won the leagues and they've had little wobbles. You need to get on with it and forget the league. You've still got the Europa League and just finishing in the top 4. Because United are probably licking their lips now. Picked up little points against Leeds. Newcastle are still there, probably kicking their teeth that they've drawn. City are in the driving seat and they will outscore Arsenal on the best of days. Xhaka was the weak link with blind passes. I know Eddie is still young and developing, but he really ain't it. Tomiyasu, I mean, he made a mistake. I wouldn't say he got cooked. Lost 11 games, and that's the damning one. And they've ended a good home run of form. You know all the statistics and all them things before the game. So, as I said, it's a game where you kind of got to look at it without emotion. You've got to hold your L. You've got to accept it. But yeah, man. Big up Chelsea. I don't really care about Chelsea losing in the Champions League because I'd swap thingies. Your centre-back partnerships takes turn making mistakes. Saliba's a kid, so it's calm. But Gabriel's got these silly moments. And for me, I need Gabriel to wake up when VAR saved his bacon. But I'm not even going to draw out Gabriel. Because there's been times I think you was good today. Arteta got it wrong. White over Tomiyasu. To be fair, Ben White's form was shaky, you know. So I'm not gonna get at him for the Tomiyasu one. Obviously, it's a game of fine margins, and Tomiyasu has made one mistake, and that all it took. So he has to hold that. But I'm with that. I would have preferred Trossard to start today. I would have preferred Trossard to come on a lot sooner. Had he have played Benjamin, some fans would have sat there and said, boy, that's why he doesn't, that's why did he start him and not Tomiyasu? So I don't think a single manager can win. I do think when, as I said at the time, when they switched to a back four, you could see it. We showed immaturity. You know, Tomiyasu and Gabriel have been caught, but there was a couple of times in that game. You know, there was a dodgy pass from Eddie Nketiah. There was a Buki one from Xhaka. Jorginho was great, but he had one. Zinchenko was trying to dribble in his box. I'm not trying to catch a single player out. I'm just saying it was going to happen. And unfortunately for today, Tomiyasu and Gabriel have to hold their L's. And that will happen again and again and again. But you have to just keep going. Smash the like button, people. One love for all of you lot being tuned in. Keep your thoughts and all of those good things coming, folks. Again, don't forget 11:30, we're reacting to the game tomorrow and any other talking points as well as now. You know there'll be cut-up clips and all of these things to follow after this live stream is done. Our right back got ripped. Our left back out of position. And Gabriel and Xhaka caught napping. Game over. From now on, Tomiyasu is not a starter. We must get centre back in the summer. Right back in the summer, sorry. 1 winning 5 peak. At least this happened now. Got tired of the media bigging us up so they could tear us apart. F the media, bro. Whatever the media is saying. Bro, these players ain't got it in them, man. There's a certain nastiness. I don't know who Jack is. Who the hell is Jack? Who's Jack? Talking about Grealish. I don't know. I don't know who Jack is, but yeah. There's something fundamentally wrong with Nketiah's decision making and team play should be sorted by now. I mean, this is it. Got scored, man. We had chances, but you don't take them. As bro, you refresh the screen now, and the first half was probably ended even. We had 10 shots, 1 on target. They had 9 shots, 6 on target, and 3 goals. We had 64% of the ball. We played 223 passes to their 101. That's what you do with it. They had 2 corners. We had 1. That's what you do with it. And it could be better, it could be worse. End of the day, you've got a game in hand on both of on the teams around you, excluding Newcastle. You've got game in hand on City and United. We've got 51 points to 46. You've dropped, out of available 9 points, you've taken just 1. Don't make the qualifying for Champions League more harder than it needs to be. Because in life, when it can get worse, it will get worse. Now is not the time to feel sorry. Any player that feels sorry for themselves, tell Arteta so you don't play against Aston Villa. We were playing well. City just much cleaner and more clinical. We need to capitalize on our chances.